I feel like I'm getting hammered.
Caitlin Clark spent an entire season battling relentless cheat shots, constant hacking, and defenders who thought brute force could slow her down. But those days are done. The Indiana Fever have reinforced their squad with not one, not two, but three enforcers, determined to put an end to that nonsense for good.
So the Indiana Fever have got their enforcer. They have got their enforcer for Caitlin Clark. And I'm not gonna lie, like, when it comes to Caitlin Clark and their enforcer, last year everyone was talking about them needing an enforcer.
Enter Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and Duana Bonner. Three battle-hardened veterans who embody toughness, grit, and an uncompromising mindset. They play with intensity, thrive on physicality, and never back down from a challenge. If Caitlin Clark's detractors thought they could keep roughing her up without consequences, they're in for a rude awakening. The message is loud and clear. If you come for Clark, you'll have to face them first.
The closest thing they had was Erica Wheeler. That was the closest thing they had for someone to defend Caitlin Clark, was Erica freaking Wheeler. Maybe Tammy, but Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early, and they needed their Charles Oakley.
This isn't just a roster upgrade. It's a statement. The Indiana Fever aren't here just to compete. They're here to take over. With these battle-tested additions, they've assembled a team that can play fast, play physical, and, most importantly, shield their superstar. Caitlin Clark's bullies? Consider them warned. Now, the big question: how will these three game-changers elevate the Fever into one of the WNBA's most formidable teams? Let's dive in.
Sometimes you need one of those players on your team. You need one of those enforcers. Every good player, by the way. Every good player, every good team that is a super duper star. Most of the time have enforcer type.
Picture this. Caitlin Clark, the most electrifying rookie the WNBA has seen in years, takes the court for her debut season. The atmosphere is electric, fans are buzzing with anticipation, and the stage is set for her to shine. But instead of a warm welcome, she's met with relentless hard fouls, excessive contact, and a level of physicality that feels more like a statement than standard defense. Question is, what was really going on?
That's all I see. They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court.
Let's break it down. This wasn't just the usual rookie initiation. Caitlin Clark faced a level of physicality that went beyond competitive play. She endured cheap shots, body checks, and fouls that had no place in the game. At times, it felt less like basketball and more like a wrestling match. But here's the shocking part. Clark wasn't just adjusting to the league's physicality. She was targeted. The numbers speak for themselves. A jaw-dropping 177% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA last season were committed against her. That's not just tough defense. That's a deliberate effort to rough her up.
Now, what little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that? How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb. It looks like a soap opera.
And leading the charge, none other than the Chicago Sky a staggering 80% of those flagrant fouls against Clark came from a single team. That's not just a coincidence, it's a statement. They weren't just defending her, they were trying to make a point. But why? Was it intimidation, frustration, or an old-school tactic to slow down a rising star? Whatever the motive, one thing was undeniable. Clark wasn't just making waves, she was disrupting the league. And not everyone was thrilled about it. One of the most blatant examples came from none other than Angel Reese. Picture this. Clark cuts through the lane, laser focused on the basket, when suddenly, bam, Reese delivers a hard foul, sending her crashing to the floor. The arena falls silent. Fans hold their breath. Would she get up? The hit was so intense that even commentators started questioning whether it had gone too far. But Clark, she's built different. Without hesitation, she dusted herself off, got back on her feet and kept playing like nothing happened.
I think we went up really strong a lot of times and we didn't get a lot of calls. And going back and looking at the film, I've seen a lot of calls that weren't made. I guess some people got a special way.
That's what separates Clark from the rest. Her unshakable composure. While others debated whether the hits had crossed the line, she stayed locked in. Even after taking a blatant cheap shot from Kennedy Carter, her response was simple. Asterisk, that's just not a basketball play. I got to play through it. Asterisk, no complaints, no retaliation, just relentless focus and the kind of mental toughness that forges legends.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
Clark proved she could take the hits, but the Fever front office knew they couldn't let her endure another season without protection. So they took action. Asterisk, asterisk, big asterisk, asterisk action. By adding some serious enforcers, Indiana is making one thing clear. The days of bullying Clark are over. No more unchecked cheap shots. No more unnecessary physicality. So, who are these enforcers, and how will they transform the entire dynamic of the Indiana Fever? Let's break it down.
The signing of Natasha Howard represents a massive step forward for the Indiana Fever and their quest for a championship. In Howard, the Fever gain a three-time WNBA champion, a Defensive Player of the Year, an All-Star, and a veteran with more than 300 games played.
Natasha Howard isn't just a new face in Indiana. She's the enforcer the Fever have been missing. From the moment she stepped into that locker room, the message was crystal clear. Asterisk, asterisk, Caitlin Clark is no longer an easy target. Asterisk, asterisk. For those unfamiliar, Howard is a three-time WNBA champion, a former Defensive Player of the Year, and a battle-tested veteran who brings toughness and leadership. She's not about flash or gimmicks. She's here to set the tone and ensure that the days of Clark getting pushed around are officially over.
All of that, and we haven't yet touched upon what Howard does best: defend. Howard was named Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 and has finished in the top 10 of the Defensive Player of the Year voting 3 times in her career. Howard has averaged at least 1 block and 1 steal per game in each of her last 7 seasons. And that versatility is really what makes her a weapon on defense.
Last season, defenders took liberties with Clark, believing they could rough her up without consequence. But with Howard in the mix, they'll have to think twice before trying those same antics. Her mere presence shifts the balance of power. Standing beside Clark, she commands instant respect. But Howard isn't just a physical enforcer. She's a asterisk, asterisk, game changer, asterisk, asterisk on both ends of the floor. Last season, she put up asterisk, asterisk, 17.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, and nearly 3 assists per game, asterisk, asterisk, a light-level production. And here's the best part. She can asterisk, asterisk, stretch the floor, asterisk, asterisk, with her ability to knock down shots from deep. She'll create even more space for Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Alia Boston to thrive.
Last season, with a minimum of 25 games played, Natasha Howard was one of just 13 players to average 18 points per game. She was one of 16 players to average 7 rebounds per game. And the list of players to average both 18 and 7 last year, short and elite. Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, Brittany Griner, and yes,
defense
Natasha
is where Howard
Howard
truly dominates. There's a reason she was named Defensive Player of the Year in 2019. She's a nightmare for anyone trying to score in the paint. With her length, strength, and relentless intensity, she makes life miserable for opponents. And when it comes to protecting her teammates, she's never backed down from a challenge. But perhaps the most underrated part of Howard's arrival is her playoff experience. The Fever are young and full of potential, but deep postseason runs require composure and leadership that only seasoned veterans can provide. Howard has played in over 50 playoff games, and that kind of experience is invaluable. She knows what it takes to win, and now she's bringing that championship mindset to Indiana.
There were videos, there are so many videos of Sophie Cunningham just starting brawls. Sophie Cunningham in general is just
But that wingspan and
wild.
6'2" height
Wild
allows
is
her
the
to be
best word I can use
disruptive
to describe
defensively
Sophie
around the rim on opposing
And, like,
bigs too. In fact,
it is
Howard will
just-
enter the
it's
2025
carnage.
season
Like, it's carnage a lot of time when Sophie
25th
Cunningham gets
all-time
involved with
in
anything.
blocks in
The amount of
WNBA
fights
history.
that Sophie Cunningham has been involved in is meant. Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early, and they needed their Charles Oakley. You've got that in Sophie Cunningham. Like Sophie Cunningham, there are so many things where it's like part of it her fault, part of it not her fault, but she will not back down. She will not back down under any circumstances from anything. And that is what the Indiana Fever need. If somebody hits Caitlin Clark, if somebody does what Victoria Vivians did to Caitlin Clark, it's not going to be Caitlin Clark that's getting involved to be teed up. Sophie Cunningham's in there. You take the technical foul. She takes the hard hit and goes down, obviously, gets back up and just laughs. Like, that's a legitimate thing where you're like, okay, yeah, this is a person who is just, like, there is a toughness there with Sophie Cunningham. And, like, she's not scared. It's a three. Maisha Hines-Allen fouls her and then tries to step over. And then Sophie Cunningham grabs her leg. Nobody's going near Maisha Hines-Allen, but no, Sophie Cunningham will start the fight. The refs are trying to break it up. None of the Mercury players are going to go near Maisha Hines-Allen. They're scared. She'll scare the bejesus out of them. Maisha Hines-Allen is one of the toughest players in this league. Sophie Cunningham going head to head straight with